yeah, it's a cool part of, I think, our journey is the people. And like, I think narrative does that. A commercial, like, you won't know the hair makeup girl.
No,
You won't know their names.
And you're,
yeah, exactly. Whereas on a feature, you'll probably eat lunch with them a couple times and get to know them. And so I think that's part of my love for narrative filmmaking, is that long form of being a part of a group and a team and family, really.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. Just obviously getting in touch with people, but also networking and just
smart, dude.
It's a cool setup. We've done podcasts for other people here, and I was like, eventually, because we've had this for a year and a half, I was like, eventually I'd like to do something with it. So here we are.
Smart.
Striking. So you get the cool, like,
is it all Nix bulbs or something? What is
FS?
Okay. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, let's kick it off.
All right.
Rolling. Jeremy Prusso, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thanks, man. Stoked to be here.
When you first came in, it was like, we have not seen each other for probably 20 years. But obviously, I see you showing up in all kinds of different films. I see you in pictures. We have I think the film community in Utah, obviously, everyone's pretty close-knit. And you're doing a lot of cool things. You've done a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I feel very blessed, to be honest. Yeah, I feel super lucky to have had a rad experience in my filmmaker's journey.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm excited to dive into, because I know a little bit of it. And I honestly, it was Luke Johnson, that popped up on the whole Benson Boone thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, dang, I got to get in touch with Jeremy again, because, you're probably the DP in Utah that all the DPs look up to.
I don't know about that. I think Paul Myers is probably that DP for most people. But I get to shoot a lot of movies in town. I don't do a ton of commercial work, but the movies, the features, that's kind of where I've landed.
That's what's cool about it, I think, is that it's easier to get into advertising and be a DP for commercials, but to like break into the feature and the narrative world, that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I love storytelling. I love that part of storytelling, narrative. I like doc work too, but like the narrative thing where we get to like set blocking and do those things, that's what I love about movies.
And was that like, I know we'll get into this, but like, is that the direction you wanted to head, was to get into narratives mostly? Or does it just kind of turn into it?
It kind of turned into that. Ironically, my film career started because, and I started as a carpenter into my 30s.
Yeah.
And at like 2008, I think I was 32, 33. I was super unhappy in my career, and I was doing construction out in California for a family business, and I was working for my older brother, and he's great, but it wasn't working for me. I just wasn't happy. And, and I was like, I want to change careers. And I was married, had 3 kids, and my wife was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know, maybe hunting movies. Like, I love hunting.
Yeah.
And I was watching hunting TV stuff, and I was like, maybe that's where I go. And so we moved to Utah specifically to go to UVU and live with her parents. So we already had 3 kids, and I was, I had a house in California. I had everything kind of going. Yeah. Like, we was in the middle of this career, and I just wasn't happy, and started at UVU thinking I was going to make hunting movies. I've never made a single hunting movie. Really? Very quickly figured out I love cinematography and like started shooting. Yeah.
That's crazy that you like literally uprooted everything to just pursue filmmaking.
Yeah. It was, my wife, I think, was the courageous one. I was just so unhappy that I didn't have a choice. I feel like I didn't have a choice, but my wife was like, if that's what you want to do, let's do it. And so she jumped on board, and we moved out here with like a 6-month-old baby, and 2 older kids, and
went for it. And at that time, I mean, I don't want to like put a date on anything, but that was like, I think, a little harder to break into the industry, because you didn't have, I always tell people, like, YouTube wasn't a thing, cameras were way different, there's not as much free access to knowledge, the community wasn't as big as it was. Yeah. I just remember being the freshman at UVU, seeing you and Stelios, and being like, those guys are the guys, because you guys were shooting all the cool films. What was your senior project? It was like a firefighter thing. Was that?
We did.
That was a different crew.
I did shoot on 47 Minutes.
47 Minutes,
which was a short film, a 9/11 short film. Yes. We actually did. Our senior project was actually kind of lame, but at the same time, the Utah Film Commission used to put on a competition called Spot On. Yeah. You remember that? It was like, no. They did this cool, basically you made 30-second commercials that sold Utah as a filming location. Okay. And Stelios and I, and actually a bunch of guys, Eric Lawrence, Kyle Rainey, I mean, I'm probably forgetting so many names. Bradley Crane, but all these guys that are kind of still in the industry and still work. I still work with most of them.
Cool.
We did this project where we built a wooden door. Actually, if you watch Tree of Life, they did something very similar. We did it first.
Okay.
But we built this door and we took it all over, and we had a director walk through this door and go from like the Salt Flats to Goblin Valley to whatever, Monument Valley. We did a bunch of locations, and then we won their competition.
I feel like I've seen that.
Yeah, it was a cool, probably. I mean, at the time we were sharing it everywhere, and that was probably like late 2010 or maybe 2011.
Yeah.
Probably into there. So we shot it on the school's Red, like Red One.
Red One, I remember that. Yeah. Like Bob Trim was like, guys, check this out. Because I started in 2010. I did 1 year off of college and then went to 2010. Yeah. So it was like right around that time.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So I want to do an introduction.
Okay.
Obviously, I know who you are, and a lot of the people probably know who you are that are watching this, but tell us who you are. I just want to know your name, what you do currently in your career, and kind of like the projects you've been working on recently.
Yeah. So my name's Jeremy Prusso. I'm a Utah cinematographer. Maybe I shouldn't say Utah. I'm a cinematographer.
Yeah.
I have shot all over the world. Lately, my bread and butter has been Hallmark movies.
Cool.
I churn out Hallmark movies. We do a lot here in Utah, and I get to shoot quite a few of them. I've done a couple independent features. The first feature I ever shot was the Saratov Approach.
Yeah, that's what I know you. Like, that's what I remember being like, no way.
Yeah.
That was such a good movie too, and it was successful.
Yeah, it did really well. I mean, I think that was the moment I became a cinematographer, even though I still wasn't, right?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden everyone thought I was, and so then I faked it for the next 10 years and learned how to do the job, and
eventually was able to do it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I still feel like I'm learning every day, but
same.
Yeah, that's that's my story.
What else? Like, what else are you? I know you've done some BYU TV stuff. Studio C, is that still a thing?
Yeah, I just came off of some Studio C this year.
Right. Cool.
I do a lot of their offset stuff.
Yeah.
They're on stage, like the in-studio stuff is all done with studio cameras. It's very different, but sometimes I'll shoot behind the scenes in those just to be on set with those guys. They're so fun. And it's such a fun place to be. I've done some music videos. Yeah. I did a bunch of music videos for the band The National Parks.
Yeah.
Local band.
Oh gosh, what is it? It's my neighbor's brother is the drummer.
Oh, okay. Cam.
And so we've been kind of just have that connection, but the national parks are amazing, and they've blown up.
Yeah, they've done really well, and I got lucky to do, actually right when COVID hit, this is really random, I was in Africa with them on a trip, shooting them in Africa, doing like, they were there doing service, and then we did a little safari, and I shot a bunch of it, and we shot some music stuff. Yeah. And on the flight home was when we started seeing COVID masks come out.
Crazy.
And it was like,
so you were like out of the country when it was happening.
Totally.
Weird.
When it first started happening, and then, but they had some money right then, and so the only projects I did really for that first little bit of COVID was 3 music videos for them.
Cool.
That I wrote and directed, actually, and Bradley Crane shot I think 2 of them, and that was like, I loved that. It was like filmmaking freedom, you know. We did fun stuff, and
just anything that kind of, did you have like an idea? Did you just go out and just shoot them in locations?
So basically we did, all 3 music videos are kind of linked.
Yeah. We
use these funny gold coins. They're actually canned chocolate coins, but they look like gold coins. And but we took and made basically a Western story, a modern day story, and then we did like a post-apocalyptic story, and all 3 videos share that gold coin as a piece in them. And so it was super fun to do those genres. Western, which I've always loved, always loved shooting, and then, you know, modern day we did like a little road trip thing, and then we did this post-apocalyptic thing, and shot up here in Lehigh at Josh Kilkowski's place.
Oh, cool.
He's got like all this neon and stuff, so we used all that.
Awesome. How do you get into, like, I mean, how do you become the guy that National Park sits up, or even Benson, Boone, to be able to be the cinematographer? And what do you want me to say? The director of photography or the cinematography?
Cinematographer's great. Yeah, I like either.
Cinematographer for Benson Boone's music video is like, obviously you're in the narrative world.
Yeah.
The music videos, like, how do you get involved with that stuff?
Yeah, the national parks, I started as like a nerdy fan, and I was like going to tons of their shows, and like their first album, I loved all their music, but the first album really was like, oh, these guys are rad, and there's something I wanted to be a musician at one point in my life, and so I was really into that, and I was like, hey, I'll shoot anything you guys want for, like, basically did a couple either very cheap or almost free things. And then from there that we kind of, that was kind of my in.
Yeah.
And we got along really well, and we could hang out. It was like friends and
Cool.
easy to be around. And so, yeah, when they had that project, they called me, and I got to do it.
So you and Luke Johnson you should be in his band, right?
Yeah, my son is actually in his band.
Are you serious?
My son plays bass
That's
in
cool.
Luke's band.
His band's so fun.
Yeah, they're crazy. Yeah, so we went to that battle of the bands that he
Nice.
did and all that stuff.
That was like right after he was on.
Yeah.
Ended up
It was
going
right
into
around.
that.
Yeah,
So I was
totally.
just getting to know who he was, because I had no idea who Luke Johnson was until the music video came out, and then it was like, dang, he's such a fun dude.
Dude,
Wanted to get to know him, and he's been super supportive, which I appreciate.
Oh, good. Yeah. No, he's rad, and he is super loyal. That's one thing about Luke is like, I almost see him as like, I've pictured this in my mind, like, the Island of the Misfit Toys and that Christmas special. Like, do you remember that? Like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Anyway,
I think so. Yes.
Yes, but there's this Island of Misfit Toys, and I
Yes.
see Luke as like the leader of,
Yeah.
and I'm one of his misfits, and I think maybe you're becoming
I'm
one of his
slowly becoming
misfits, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's got all these friends. Like, he connected me with a guy named Cole Glass, who's
Cool.
a director in town. I shot a short film from, but it's like this Luke Johnson umbrella that kind of ends up kind of engulfing you into it and like making rad stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
He's just a fun character. And
Yeah.
like he makes you want to hang out with him. Like,
Yeah,
it's just like,
totally.
Anyway, there's a lot of people like that in those positions, like as a creative executive producer that he is, it's like that's perfect for him to be able to network.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to, like, just because you teased a little bit of your journey already about this like uprooting and just going straight for cinematography, I think that's like going to be a fun story. So I'm excited to dive into the journey, and as we go I'll just ask questions and kind of expand on things, but let's just dial it back all the way to the beginning of Carpentry.
Yeah.
And like talking about that transition.
Yeah. So
Is that when it started though, or like where did you get this idea to become a cinematographer?
it's funny. I have to probably give my wife credit for it. Like, we literally were looking through like the UVU catalog of like, what should I do?
Yeah.
And we looked really hard at construction management because I already had those skills, and I was like, maybe if I become more of like a white collar construction manager. But as we dug through it, I've always been into like photographing and imagery, and like my wife has seen me like experiment with stuff like that our whole marriage. Cool. I think. And so she was very encouraging. She was like, maybe this is it. And like I said, I was into hunting stuff, and I was like, okay, maybe I could do that and make hunting films. And so that kind of drew me into it. And then as soon as I got into school and started shooting, I was like, oh, I like cameras, and I like what you can do with these. And the UVU program at the time, I feel like it was still kind of coming, like just budding a little bit.
UVSC.
Yeah. It was just coming out of UVSC into UVU, and it was like the professors were awesome. They were encouraging, but I feel like we took it on ourselves. We actually started the UVU. Originally, it was called the Cinematography Club. It turned into the Filmmaker, a film club, I think, which still exists, I think, to this day. We started that.
I was going to say, I feel like that's why I looked up to you guys so much, because obviously we did that one shoot together that we can talk about, but I was just on set with, and I actually looked up Jill Nix.
Oh, yeah.
The whole program, because I was like, oh my gosh, and then Ron Nix, and I found the photo from that shoot on her website.
Oh, really?
And I don't know if you're in it, but were you there the day that I was one of the workout people?
Oh, I think maybe I was. They just like
very
threw you in there.
Pixelated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I was just there to hang out because of Joe Girard. He was kind of pulling me along and getting me involved in things. But no, that was anyway. What I was going to get to is that, like you were saying, I think that a lot of the reputation that was built, I'm not going to say you guys did it, but it's like you guys were kind of grandfathering that and building it. Because the reputation that I heard about was, don't go to BYU, don't go to Utah, because UVU is way more hands-on. And I think that sounds like you guys were kind of building that.
Yeah, I feel like UVU gave us the tools. They were like, here's a red one. Yeah. Go shoot on it. And we were like, okay, we're going to do this. And we took it on ourselves to do cool projects and shoot whatever we could. And we shot tons of slow motion stuff, just learning how to shoot. I mean, we didn't know anything.
Yeah. And the red one, that was so fun to experiment.
It was so cool at the time, like the capabilities of it. I think I bought a 7D around the same time, and we were still shooting stuff on that, but to have the red one, it felt like the big dog, and like everyone was so stoked to check that out and use it. And I think it was a little bit of UVU, but also us being like very proactive at UVU.
Giving you guys the roadmap.
Yep.
Here you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Do stuff.
Yeah, and rad people. Like I said, Kyle Rainey, Bradley Crane, Eric Lawrence is still a sound guy I work with to this day, who was like, I feel like we pushed him into production sound because we're like, we need a sound guy, and he was cool. And now he does that. Yeah. Bradley Crane, who started Moonrock Cameras.
Cool.
Who, I think I got him his first DIT job from connecting with him in college, and then all of a sudden he's like one of the top DITs in town. You know what I mean? Like we kind of created a space where we all kind of took these roles on, and then we all went out, and now we still do them to this day.
It's a cool generation. Like there's like groups of people.
Yeah.
And I've talked to a lot of like the generation just under me.
Yeah.
There's a really cool community kind of growing together, similar to where you guys were. I'm curious what, like, when you say your wife was into like she says, or she supported you and you were into imagery and you were like taking pictures and stuff, like what was it like? I don't want to say back then, but before things were really digital.
I mean, I did shoot on like 35 millimeter film and stuff a lot, and we had just little DV cams and stuff that we would shoot family stuff on and all that stuff. And I was always like, even back then, I didn't even know I loved it, but I would set up blocking or set up fun backgrounds, and I immediately was drawn to a camera. I think my grandpa loved shooting photography. My dad did photography a little bit. So it was something that was kind of always there in my life. And I actually have my grandpa's like 8x10 camera in a toolbox that I have that it's super rad, and I haven't ever shot on it, but I have it kicking around, and
super cool.
Yeah.
So your wife knew that there was something there.
Yeah, and I think creativity, even in my construction days, the creative stuff was the stuff I liked, and I think she was like, how can we channel this? And so I think that was, I'd like to say it was like I wanted to be a filmmaker, but really I think she was like, might try this, and I tried it, and I loved it, immediately loved it. And
when you like went towards that, was it to be a cinematographer? You didn't know that until UVU? Like, what was it?
UVU for sure is where I learned that, because I think I directed those spot on competition things.
Oh, nice.
I think Stelios actually shot those.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure that he shot them and I directed them, and I thought maybe I want to be a director, but very quickly I realized like, no, camera was what was interesting to me, and really like telling a story through a lens, and that was and still to this day it's like I'm like a kid in a candy store. Like, cool. I can sit and get on YouTube and watch tutorials and things that Steven Spielberg does, blocking, and I still love ingesting everything I can about camera work. And
so that time, were you like, what was it about the camera that you loved? Were you a tech guy, or were you more like an artsy guy?
I think artsy guy. Yeah. The tech stuff's fine, and I feel like I understand the tech side of it, but it's not my favorite part for sure.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, it's just like, it's not about the equipment as much as it's great. Like, if you can shoot in light, composition, that's like where really, like, that's where you're really good.
Yeah. So. I felt like I spent the bulk of my career fixating on lighting.
Yeah.
And in the past couple years, I've really fixated on blocking and camera movement. Like,
talk to me about blocking real quick. Like, to someone that doesn't quite understand that, like, what does that mean as a cinematographer?
To me, right now on my like journey, I'm trying to explore like less cuts and more of creating situations where the camera sits in one spot and the blocking moves around it. And in this latest movie I just came off of, Jake Van Wagner directed it, and I feel like we got to do that quite a bit. I mean, it was a fast shoot, 17-day movie, but like we snuck in a lot of moments where it's really purposeful where we put the camera. We're not just shooting wide, medium, tight. We're like really saying this character's going to go from here to there, and this is why, and the camera might slide a foot or two, but really we're minimizing what we're doing just to let the actors do it. And
how much of that is you versus the director? Are you like pushing the director to be that way?
Well,
it kind of seems like a lot of things are going that direction. Have you seen Studio?
Yeah.
Holy smokes! Man, those shots are forever.
Yeah, totally. And it's more interesting. It's and especially as a maker, to me, it's way more interesting than like, I mean, I can shoot a wide and a medium and a tight anytime, like, you know what I mean?
Coverage. It's like, we got to save our butts.
Yeah, exactly. And the Hallmark movies that I do, that's a lot of what we do because of time and because of the acting, and you just don't have the ability to really, do what you want to do. Right. And so having that having that freedom, and like that's right now what I'm really like digging into.
Cool. And I totally sidetracked you, but with that relationship with the director.
Oh yeah.
Are you pushing him?
I am pushing. I think,
Yeah.
and I don't know if pushing is the right word, but I'm encouraging because Jake is into it. Like,
Cool.
and together, I really feel like it's super collaborative, and sometimes the ideas come from me and sometimes they come from him, but we've created that space where we both want to make it cooler and better than like normal coverage. And so I think having us be on the same page most of the time, to be honest, like that doesn't always click on set. Like, but I think it's probably 50-50, honestly, with my relationship with Jake Van Wagner. Other directors, you don't get to do that. Some directors, I work with a director who I love, McLean Nelson. I don't know if you know McLean. He grew up in Utah, but he works.
There's a lot of names I'm going to be Googling after
this. Yeah. McLean is a rad dude, but he wants the set to be like dressed and ready before he blocks.
Cool.
And so it sometimes to me it feels almost more documentarian. Like we'll show up and the set is finally dressed, and now we're like figuring out how we're going to do this, and we're always in a hurry, and we're, you know what I mean? So it's a very different experience than like certain directors. You'll go, weeks in advance, and you'll get there and you'll take photos and you'll storyboard or shoot photos of like how you're going to really do this. And those are the circumstances I think you get to use blocking in cool ways. And McLean still does rad blocking. It's just usually more on the fly and like, let's throw Steadicam on and do this and this. And so it's just a different thing.
Interesting.
But,
It's always fun to like hear different director styles.
Yeah.
Especially as a cinematographer, how you kind of have to navigate that.
Yeah.
And obviously put in your own touch when you can. But with blocking like that, especially the longer shots, I have to imagine it lends itself to, you need the right actors that can obviously remember lines. Do you find it being faster or longer to do longer shots versus getting coverage?
I think that's a good question. I think it probably times out to be the same at the end, because you're not having to like move lights around a lot, but really it does take time to finesse that blocking and make sure that everyone's finding those marks and leaving the gaps that they need to for this and that. And I think it would time out to be similar. I think it does take more pre-production
for sure,
for sure, more planning,
because a lot of times when you're shooting a traditional wide, medium, close-up, it's like the wide's kind of there and you figure it out, and then as you get to the close-up, it's a little more detailed, I guess.
Finished.
Finished for sure. You've dialed in what it needs to be. So it's like you don't have as much planning, and you're just getting it and learning as you go, where the blocking, you have to like spend a lot of time practicing getting the lines right, making sure the actor's in the right place. It's cool.
Hiding lights a lot, mounting to walls or wall spreaders or whatever, but
and that's what I love about studio, is that you lose yourself in these moments where you don't even notice that there's cuts, and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, it hasn't cut for a long time. Like, how are they doing this? And the lighting and the actors are just amazing. Do you find that you guys are ever doing shots that are that long? Because those are like minutes long.
Well,
is that ever a thing?
Probably not quite as.
That's hard.
Not as elaborate, at least, because I'm still shooting very short day page count, like long page count days, and so I think
you gotta be fast.
We definitely get some moments that are beautiful and can last a long time, but I don't think it's the same. And they probably have the ability to like remove lights in post and do all the things that they need to do, and
huge budgets
we don't get to do. But but I think exploring that and finding those boundaries and like bringing my cinematography skills is what I feel like I'm doing. I'm like upping my skills and having directors that are willing to like put up with you attempting this and like taking that time is always nice. And
I think it's appreciated when you do get a shot that's a little longer, because it does take more planning. And it's a challenge, I have to imagine. It's a new world for you to kind of get better at. And that's what's important about what we do. It's like, how do you can get bored. It's like, how do we
totally I think the next thing I really want to learn is color. I've been like, color has been in the back of my mind for the last couple of years, and I'm like, if I can get this blocking thing really nailed, like color is where I'm put my next to energy. So like color on screen, not color correction.
Okay, I was gonna say, you do a post work.
No. So what do
color
you mean, on screen? Just like finding ways to really introduce colors that have meaning, and like 60-30-10, like where frames are, X amount of this color and X amount of this color and X amount of this color, and using that thematically throughout films. And I've got to play a little bit with that on even some of my hallmarks. Like we'll introduce a thematic color that comes in for certain characters or for things like that. But I feel like my color science is very lacking, and I need to increase that.
That's something that you do as a cinematographer. I didn't realize that.
I try to. Yeah, I really try to.
Art director.
And you work with the art director for sure. Production designer.
Input.
Yeah. On our World War II movie, I fought pretty hard for this like rust orange sweater that we put this little girl in. She's in it the whole movie.
Cool.
But I just felt like, you have red and you have these other colors, and I felt like this color kind of hit this medium ground of like, it's not red and it's not green or what, the army guys are in green. And
Is this that?
So this is our World War II movie that we just finished like a week ago. It's not, these are just frame grabs that our small HD monitors capture untouched,
so cool,
uncolored. This is like totally unfinished, but this little sweater, through my pre-production, I started I used AI a little bit to to make some imagery, like a poster image or whatever. And this is a color that I kind of latched onto, and I had to battle with the wardrobe girl. She wasn't quite as much into that color, but I think it turned out really nice. And when I see her with the guys in the army green and the trees and stuff, it's really nice.
What was the purpose of the orange? What were you trying to convey?
I'm trying to convey that she's different, and she's kinder, gentler, and like those fall colors, kind of just soft and beautiful. And that's kind of what her character is throughout. It's like she's none of the fighting and none of the death and she's everything else.
So you had to say exactly what you just said to the wardrobe. You're like, look.
That's what I fought for. And there are definitely other colors. Yellow could have worked. There are other colors that could do the same thing.
Summer, more bright though, and you're like, no, it's got to be orange.
So we fought for that one, and
that's cool.
Really liked it.
That's really fun. When does this come out?
Well,
can you talk about
we have no idea, to be totally honest. We're trying to get a rough cut done this month to get into Sundance.
Nice. Cool.
Wow. We will see if that happens, but we're trying pretty hard. We had a film in Sundance. Jake and I did together a couple years back, and so this one will be very rough for them. So I'm hoping that they'll see our vision from our last one, and maybe that'll...
It looks beautiful.
Oh, dude, it was so much fun. Skylar Sorensen gaffed it for me.
Cool.
And it was a tiny film. The budget was minuscule. We had rad support from the community. Ryan Roundy came out and did all this special effects stuff. So we did some real explosions, some real fire.
I've worked with Roundy before.
Have you?
Because I worked at Devon Supertramp. I don't know. He came out and did some explosions for us. There's a lot of names you're saying. I have no idea who you're talking about, and I'm excited to learn who they are.
Yeah.
That's one I recognized.
Roundy, he was such a stud for us. Basically, we went to him with this little tiny film, and we're like, is there anything you can do to help us for free, basically? Yeah. And he was like, oh, wait, I'll do it. He was super on board, and he made it way bigger than it ever could have been. And
so cool.
Yeah, and was such a cool guy, and it was awesome. So
I want to just show one of the projects we did with Supertramp. It's I can't remember. Devon Supertramp, Brody Smith is in it. Maybe if you search that. Anyway, he'll pull that up while we're talking.
Yeah.
Some of his explosions he did for us were incredible.
Yeah.
Especially the opening scene.
Yeah.
And I was going to talk a little bit about how cool the blocking the long shots are, because I remember I hadn't really thought much about that, but that was kind of the bread and butter of what we would try to do is get these long movie shots with Supertramp, and it was trying not to cut, and if you had to, you hit it, but people started to see through that. So that's super cool that's still something that you're trying to do and also improve on. Yeah. As a cinematographer.
Yeah, I just think it's a fun part of our job that when you're just fighting to do work, sometimes you don't get to play with it, but now that I feel like the lighting stuff is a little easier for me now.
Yeah.
I get it, and the gaffers I work with are so good at it that it's I can leave it in their hands basically most of the time. We establish what looks we want, and then
I think that's so fun, because lighting, to me, I just feel like I've gotten to that point where I'm I know exactly what I need to do to light anything, and it's so the challenge part is kind of I'm kind of bored with it. I don't want to say I hate it, but you definitely need to find new challenges.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're kind of done this before.
Totally.
So
totally. That's how, I think I think I counted yesterday. I think I've done 21 features maybe.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm at that space where I'm like, how can I make this more interesting for the audience, but also for me?
Yeah.
I think that's part of
Yeah.
my journey is like, I still love lighting. Like I think you probably do too, but like, and picking lighting that really works for a scene has become really fun. It's less about like just lighting something and really lighting specific for purposes.
Yeah.
And now to move into blocking and then hopefully color and like really master all those things. And maybe by the time I'm dead, I'll be really good at it.
Good.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
For sure. And I'm sure lighting changes with longer blocking shots.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Finding ways to make certain characters, show up a little more for their beats or whatever. Yeah, it's really fun to explore.
The thumbnail is of an explosion. Have you seen that yet? Christian Buseth is in it. Okay, well, it's like a Nerf gun video.
That's fun. I did. I sent you a Fablehaven thing that Christian Buseth was in too.
Oh yes, I just watched that. That
Did
was
you?
So beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, scroll down a little bit. I really feel like I'm going off on a tangent.
Oh, you're good, dude.
Keep going. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That explosion. That was real, and that was what was cool. Is like we got these budgets that were kind of ridiculous for just dumb videos.
Yeah.
And this was one that we got a pretty healthy budget, and Roundy had a blast.
Dude.
We were like, let's go. And so this opening shot. In fact, this was one of the first videos I DP'd.
Oh, cool.
I had no idea how to light. It was just camera work. So this opening shot I was pretty proud of. But these are real explosions.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know this space.
Yeah, it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, out by Goshen kind of, right?
Yeah.
On the way out there.
And we had one chance to get this too. And
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Really cool. So yeah, there's good old Christian.
Oh, I remember this video actually.
Yeah. I
totally remember this video.
Yeah, this was really fun. We shot on the Dana, and then for any of these, and then everything else was on the Steadicam, an actual Steadicam. We didn't just glide cam it.
Yeah.
So
who was doing that work?
Me. I was doing
you were doing
all
Steadicam
camera and all DP.
Oh,
In
nice.
fact, what's the gaffer's name that passed away a couple of years ago?
Stoddard?
I cannot remember his name. Darker skin.
Huh.
Anyway, I just saw that he had passed away, which is
I don't
sad.
know.
And he was the gaffer on this.
Oh, not Galen, was it? No,
it wasn't Galen. He taught me so much.
Oh yeah.
He's like, all right, how do you want to light this? And I'm like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, I just shoot natural light a lot. Like, I don't know how to use any. So he taught me so much.
That's awesome.
He ended up gaffing this, so I can't really call myself a DP on this. More just a cinema or a cam op.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway,
I spent a bunch of my. I feel you though.
Yeah,
I definitely have done those shoots.
there's a lot of fake in it too.
Yeah.
You're the authority, but like.
Well, yeah, action like that. I mean, it works for that. You know what I mean? Like
totally.
Yeah, that's fun.
Cool. Well, let's get back to the whole the beginning of your journey, which was when you went to UVU and started to figure out you wanted to be in cinematography. You love the camera, and then I just remember too. I think that's when you started growing your beard.
Oh yeah.
And Stelios had a beard.
Yeah.
And you guys were very like recognized for that. And what was it like in college as you guys were going through and kind of building this team as well as this the program, and how did that push you towards the next step, which we can go into?
Yeah, but basically, like in school, making those connections with my friends, and then I think we were all encouraging each other to like do cooler stuff. And I feel like you mentioned earlier, like it was kind of a different time in film. Like the 5D Mark II had kind of was just coming, like just becoming a thing. So I think we were given. Like we were handed the opportunity to do a lot of cool stuff because like technology was shifting.
You were right at
we were
the
in the middle of it,
and
the cusp of it.
We're just getting out.
Totally.
When I got out of high school, which is when you were starting to push all this.
Totally. So I think that was a big part of it. Like we had tools available to us to do rad stuff, and so we started just doing that and really pressuring each other. And very quickly, we all started working in the industry. Stelios and I. And I think a kid named Kyle Rainey all interned on a T.C. Christensen movie called 17 Miracles.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you? Yeah.
I ended up going on his Cokeville Miracle.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Bob, he was his ace, his AD. What the heck is his last name? He was a professor when I was at college.
Bob Trim?
It wasn't Bob Trim. It was the other Bob. Bigger guy.
Huh.
Bob Trim has the long hair, right?
Yeah.
Bob Condor.
Oh, Bob Condor.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So
I
he
know
was our
Bob.
professor. He's like, you guys got to come on Cokeville.
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
was cool.
That's cool.
So you're on 17 Miracles.
So I did 17 Miracles,
Great
and
movie.
I got put in camera department.
Nice.
It was kind of random because Stelios ended up with electric.
Yeah.
I don't remember, Kyle went to grip or something, but it was kind of just random how they put us there. But I was super stoked to be on camera, and I was shooting on film. So in the beginning, I didn't know anything. I mean, they were like, go get the matte box. And I didn't even know what it was. And I'm like 10 years older than all college. You know what I mean? I'm like already way behind. But by the end of that, I was loading 16 for him and loading film and seconding full on. And then I worked for him for a little while after that. Did some commercials, worked with him and stuff. Did a little giant commercial with him that I loaded 16 on out at the Infomercials Inc.
Yeah.
You know that stage?
I've never shot out there.
Oh, yeah. Doug Fox.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just started working for TC, and I think that really, all of a sudden I became a camera assistant.
Yeah.
And still, I think that was kind of coming out of school, I guess. I graduated. A lot of my friends did not graduate.
Good for you. Me too.
Yeah.
I was like, you didn't really need that degree, but I was like, I got to finish.
I did finish. I think my wife would have been mad if I hadn't. But, but most of my friends, I won't name names, but you know who you are, guys. Didn't ever finish. But
they obviously didn't. They're all in the community, or the industry.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They're still, they're so rad.
So cool.
It's good people. But yeah, so that was kind of that part of the journey. And then I started ACing. I seconded for a while. I first did a tiny bit. I didn't first very long. I wasn't super good at it, to be honest. And then I shot the Saratov Approach, and all of a sudden I was a DP.
Yeah. That's so cool. So when you were seconding, ACing, those are kind of very different worlds, right? Like you're pulling focus or you're slating.
Yeah.
Giving marks.
Yeah.
Obviously, lens changes. What did you like out of those?
I love just being on set. At the time, I was just so excited about single shoot. You know what I mean? Like everything was like cool and fun, and there were miserable days. Even with TC, we ended up in below zero.
I was going to ask about that scene with the wolf.
Oh yeah,
cold.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was terrible. I mean, but it's still so cool.
Real.
Don't look the wolf in the eye. They kept telling us, don't look it in the eye. But miserable. Like people got in a car crash driving. We shot a bunch of that up Ogden Canyon, and it was like snowing on the roads. But to me, it was just like I was so excited to be just a little part of it, and watch TC do what he was doing. Yeah, he was directing and shooting, which I still think is amazing. Yeah, that anybody can do that. Yep. I don't have the bandwidth to do that. Like
that's hard.
I struggle.
Especially that big of a shoot.
Yeah, exactly. I could do it on a little commercial or something, but yeah, there's no way on a feature
lot of moving
like
parts.
that.
You're like getting questions on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. Even as a DP, you're questions constantly, and you go home at night and you think about the next day and plan it all. But if you had to plan the camera stuff and it's crazy. I don't know how people do that. But
what's interesting is about that is I had a very similar experience with the Cokeville Miracle. I had the opportunity to be on the next film with Paul Bartholomew, I think is his name.
Okay.
No, not Bartholomew. Anyway, he was the second AC, called me back to be on the next show, and I think it was TC's. But anyway, I had an opportunity to be on a 6-week thing, and I turned it down. And that was kind of the pivotal moment in my career where I went more towards YouTube and marketing and
short form.
Yeah. Exactly. Where I had kind of this same opportunity to now be a second and then go to AC and then DP, which is actually where I was heading. I wanted that. Tell me about why not that you would have made that same choice, but like what made you excited about going down that route and being on narratives? Yeah,
I think narrative very quickly just drew me in. I love movies. I've always loved movies. And I think before college, I didn't think I could make a movie. That felt so out of reach. Yeah. And so once we started making these films and stuff, I was like, we could do this. We could tell these stories. And I think that kept luring me. And commercial work is interesting to me, and I love commercials. I still shoot here and there commercials, but narrative is hold to my heart.
That's cool.
Honestly, and it did. Even then, I was like, this is, to me, it's just cooler, the whole story, and also the being at camp with the other workers.
That's fun.
Yeah, there's something cool about spending 3 weeks with people and getting super close, and then camp ends and you go away, and then I don't know. It's a fun part of my career, I think. And
you run into the same people
Yeah.
every now and then. It's
Yeah,
like, hey,
totally.
and you got all those memories.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got to go out to Birmingham and shoot a couple movies.
Cool.
And like create that whole new group of friends out there, which
Yeah.
is really cool. And it's a cool part of, I think, our journey is the people. And like I think narrative does that. A commercial, like you won't know the hair makeup girl.
No,
You
'cause
won't
it's
know
a
their
day or
names.
two and you're-
Yeah, exactly. Whereas on a feature, you'll probably eat lunch with them a couple times and
Yep.
get to know them. And so I think that's part of my love for narrative filmmaking is that long form of being a part of a group and a team and
Yeah.
family, really.
I completely agree. And I think that's a trend on this podcast. Everyone talks about relationships.
Yeah.
And the people that last are just awesome to hang out with on set.
Yeah,
Get callbacks.
totally,
So-
totally.
So you're tooting your own horn without knowing it. Sounds like you're awesome.
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like I'm a jerk sometimes.
Everyone that I've talked to loves you, and so I'm stoked to keep going on this. So the next thing I wanted to get to is, it sounds like the Saratov Approach was like the first thing that kind of started this whole DP thing for you.
Yeah.
So like, how did that come about, and then what was that like shooting the Saratov Approach?
It's actually kind of a cool story. My friend Jake Van Wagner, who's now a director, was producing that movie, and this movie was also very small. McLean Garrett Batty wrote it. McLean did some tweaks on it, I think, and Jake was coming as producer, and Jake wanted to get me on. Jake was at UVU with us and wanted to get me on as a DP, but the director and I hadn't ever worked together, and he was a little terrified, which he should have been, rightly so. And so I got hired at one point, and then I got a call that I wasn't going to shoot it.
Huh.
And I was actually driving to Disneyland with my family, and I called the director and I was like, "Look, dude, you got to let me do this.
Yeah.
You're going to regret not letting me do this.
Yeah.
Like, please let me do that." I begged him, and we talked for like an hour on the phone, and then he let me shoot it. And so coming into it, I feel like the responsibility of it felt really heavy on my shoulders.
Yeah, you talked yourself up.
Yeah. I basically
Gotta deliver.
Yeah, I faked it completely. I also had access to some red cameras from the Nitro Circus guys.
Oh, cool.
I was managing their equipment at the time.
The Godfrey guys.
I'd worked, the Godfrey
Very cool.
guys. Yep, I'd worked on a bunch of the Nitro Circus stuff.
Nice.
Kind
That
of
was
as
like
an,
my dream to like film that kind of stuff.
It was fun.
So cool.
Sadly, I was there on the 3D movie, which kind of ended Nitro Circus in Utah. At least they sold the company after that, but having access to a couple Reds, I was like, I can bring these cameras, and I used that to kind of lure the director to letting me come shoot it, and then I learned how to do it on the day. I mean, it was all handheld. We didn't even have a tripod on set.
Yeah. I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, there's actually a funny phrase that my good friends still say to me. They're like, frame up, because I literally had to hold, like if we wanted to see the makeup or anything, I had to hold the camera.
Yeah.
And so it was spent. I think we did 10 days. We did 4 days in Ukraine. That's where we shot the exterior stuff.
Cool.
And that was right before like the first Crimea invasion, and actually the places we stayed got totally blown up, and like it was kind of crazy seeing that come together. But
that's wild. So when you were shooting that, how confident did you feel?
I think I was oblivious to what I didn't know.
Yeah, true.
Maybe I still am.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. Exactly. I was so ignorant, but I wanted to make it look cool, and we knew we were doing action, and we knew we were doing drama, so we knew we could be pretty dramatic with the lighting. I think if it had to look nicer than that, it would have been hard.
Yeah.
But luckily, it was a genre and a film that could play harder light.
Yeah.
Simpler lighting setups, and I think that worked to my advantage big time.
Cool.
And then the script was amazing, the directing was amazing, and the acting was super good.
Yeah.
So the movie did incredibly well, which made me look like I knew what I was doing, I think. 'Cause that was a big part of it, I think, was that everybody on it was so good at their job that it brought all of us up together.
You hear about that a lot. Like one thing kind of like a group, like for example, I always like Purple mattresses. There's a massive marketing team that crushed that, and now they're all over. Did tons of work. So it's like with you guys, it sounds like you guys kind of did that. Are you working with a lot of those same people on that?
100%.
That's cool.
I do a lot of work. I shot 2 other movies for Garrett after that, and then Jake Van Wagner, who's become a director. McLean, who was one of the missionaries in it, is directing stuff that I shoot.
I didn't know that, because I see his face all the time on Instagram, and he's been in the industry forever.
Yeah, he's a big part of Utah film industry, even though he's not here. Like,
really? I didn't know he wasn't here.
Yeah, he lives in LA, but he's a big part of what happens out here. And it's always fun when he's in town and
That's cool.
hang out. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what did that do to your, I mean, it's a little, it sounds like you already said, but it like launched your career.
Yeah.
What started happening after that?
Then I could slow down seeing. Luckily, I didn't have the first for very long.
Yeah.
Because I was so bad at it that, like, I'm really glad that I slipped into that. And I think also being older, because I was kind of like 10 years behind my peers, but I looked older, so I think people trusted me. You're like, oh, we can trust this guy.
Wise.
He has a beard.
Yeah,
right?
he's a wise dude. He's been through some battles.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was part of my faking it till I made it kind of thing. And so started shooting some other commercial work, and then went out and did Freetown in Africa with Garrett.
Cool.
Another missionary movie.
Yeah.
That didn't do as well for him, but was fun to shoot. And it was Africa, so you could point the camera anywhere, and it was insanely beautiful and perfect. And did some commercial work in there. And then I slipped into, I shot a really weird movie called Utah that I can't even find a trailer for. But
Utah.
Yeah, it's a little tiny project here in Utah that was so fun to make.
Yeah.
Very short, like I think 10 days or something too. But very goofy. Shot that movie and learned quite a bit on that movie. And then I went corporate for a little while, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a full-time job?
I went full-time for 8 months.
Nice.
At Young Living Essential Oils.
Cool, yeah.
But at the time, I had already shot for them quite a bit. My good friend Johnny Turner had become their media manager and they were doing insanely cool stuff. Mostly doc stuff, but I slipped into that world for a while and traveled. I mean, I think I went to 6 continents for them and 30 countries, and
they had good budgets.
Yeah, they had budgets. They paid us well. They treated us right. And
I did a little bit of editing for them, trying to break in, and it was like more of the ad focused. They actually brought in a guy that I think came from Purple to be the CMO.
Oh, really?
He's like, he wanted to kind of shift more into this new world of advertising on Facebook.
Yeah.
I had done a lot of stuff in that area, so and then it just didn't last. It didn't work.
I think that company was building, and then I think for whatever reason after COVID, it feels like it really kind of went down. I don't know why that would be. It was such a rad company. Yeah. Oh, the owner did pass away. Maybe that was part of it. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
could have been.
Changed the format a little bit, but no, they sent us all over. I mean, it was crazy what we got to do for them, and it was like, go be a tourist with your camera in Hawaii or Hong Kong, we just did that all over, and it was such a cool experience. And I think also really let me use a camera all the time and really tell stories. So I think it helped me come up as a filmmaker quite a bit. And
so why didn't it last?
Well, relationships honestly was a big part of it.
Okay.
I think we kind of all burnt out on each other. We all got a little entitled, and I think, it definitely changed some relationships for life actually, which is crazy. But it was, I take a lot of credit for the bad blood that went on there, but I think we all got very kind of entitled, and we expected to go on this trip or do that.
Oh, wow.
And it turned into, it was kind of a low point. Coming out of that was kind of a low point in my camaraderie friendship time, and I was like, it was weird.
Dang.
So,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting, and I'm still trying to fix some of those relationships, and so are others within that friend group, trying to kind of come back together and find each other,
remend those bridges.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Exactly.
And then so it didn't last, and did it obviously it had to do with relationships, but then corporate versus going narrative. Like, I've done corporate, it's hard, it's very political, and it's like you got to kind of play survivor. Yeah. And say the right things to the right people, and sounds like you were having to do that.
I'm not very good at that either. I think that might be part of why I was
you
out.
Just wear it on your sleeve and tell them straight to their face.
Yeah, I really would. And to me the film was always the most important part, whereas for a lot of those trips it wasn't the most important part to other people. So I think that I probably rubbed people wrong in that way, just trying to be like, yeah, but we should be there early so we can shoot it in this light. And everyone's like, well, let's go at 10 when we don't have to get up early and
the light
stuff
sucks.
like that. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think that was part of that. But I think I forgot the question, but
no, it was just basically being corporate is a different life.
Yeah,
and
it wasn't for me, to be honest. And my wife, a few times in my career, has encouraged me to try and go full time again, because I think the stability is amazing, and healthcare, dental, all those things that you fight for as a freelancer. But like, honestly, the 8 months that I was there full time was hard. Like the red tape and the meetings and the stuff that just wasn't related to what I loved. I was like, why am I doing this? Why would I ever do this?
Yeah, it's so hard.
Yeah.
I totally get it. I probably did a little longer than I should have.
Yeah.
You'll learn.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. And it's funny. It's an evolution. Like, it's not like I decided one day, like, I want to go corporate, or I want to, it just kind of all happens, and it's very organic. And
for sure. And so then after that, were you just like, okay, back all in on going back into the cinematography?
Yeah. I started shooting a little bit more commercial stuff, and then kind of slipped into that BYU world. Shot a lot of the offset stuff that I've done Studio C for a lot of the seasons. And it's always really fun, because the people are so rad, and through that, then I was able to build up my reel, and then kind of to get into the Hallmark world, like, it took me having a decent reel, because you have to like show Hallmark, like, hey, you can trust this guy to do this. And so luckily David Wolf with Wolf Productions down in Salt Lake was a fan of mine, kind of like, we became friends, and we have connected friends. And
does he run an agency?
No, he owns the Wolf product. They do all the Hallmark stuff, basically.
Really? I feel like I've seen ads with the name Wolf in it, and it might be a different person. No,
David just owns a production company and does a lot of movies, not only Hallmark. I mean, Hallmark is what I do for him, but he does bigger stuff, and Peacock stuff, and I don't know, a lot of movies in Utah are him, basically.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's rad, and has always been like a champion and very loyal, and kind of got me into that Hallmark world. Really, I owe a lot to him for that.
Awesome. What stands out in your mind as like one of your favorite projects up to this point in your career? Like, what is that film that you're most proud of?
That's funny.
And maybe it happened in this journey, or is it more recent?
I think this latest film was my biggest fight, because it's such a tiny budget, and I was trying to convince people to come out for free and operate and bring cameras for free, but as a film for our community, it was cool. It was super cool, because we had so many people come on board and just do rad things that was above and beyond what they should have done, and they shouldn't even have been there mostly. You know what I mean? Like, we literally like begged people to come help us, and I think it's going to be a really cool project. So, I mean, every project though has like some fun story. We did that Freetown movie in Africa, and I think they had just beaten us in the World Cup right before we went out there. Ghana had beaten us in the World Cup, so I knew they love soccer. So I actually bought 30 soccer balls at Walmart, deflated them, and brought them in a duffel bag. And every day that we shot, I gave away a soccer ball to a villager or a kid or whatever. Yeah. And it was like super memorable. Like, those moments, were really cool. Yeah. It was just felt like something tiny we could do for them, but it was huge for them. Yeah. And so, I don't know, every project has something like that just changes you as a human being. And working with these were all local Ghanaian actors. Some of them were even LDS, coincidentally, but that project was cool.
This was early.
Yeah, this was career. 2013, maybe. Was 14.
That a drone?
Yeah, we brought over a Phantom.
That was early days.
Yeah, actually, Adam Abel was our drone pilot. Cool. He had a Phantom. It was probably Phantom 1. I don't even know. And it was a great tool to have there, and brought up the production value a lot.
No one even knew what it was at that point. You didn't have to deal
exactly
with the crap we deal with now.
Yeah, but this project, it was hard. It's actually my longest film shooting days wise. It was 30 shooting days, I think. Wow. And it was fun, but it was so hard. Like, the sound guy who was doing his best had like 4 Zoom recorders, and you know what I mean, like this giant cast, and he's trying to do it all kind of like school equipment almost. You know, it felt like a film school project sometimes. We had a Movi, I think the first Movi, and red cameras. Shot a tiny bit on an A7S. Nice. The first A7S. Like right when the A7 came out, it's like the low light king.
Yep, I remember that.
But it it was this project definitely changed me as a person.
Is there something more recent that we can watch that you like? I know the
Fablehaven thing is something
Fablehaven.
I'm super proud of right now.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, that one was really fun. Cameron Sawyer directed that. Christian Busaith was a producer on it and actor.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew
you
acted, but
yeah. And this one we shot over 2 days. Actually, Override went out and did some of the drone stuff. I wasn't there for this. Was shot. Some of this was done in Oregon.
Cool.
Override did this opening sequence.
Is this so they were on their
I think Phantom.
their arm?
Well, no, I think this is all Phantom.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not Phantom. What am I? Inspire.
Okay. I had Damien. Do you know Damien?
I don't know Damien.
He's the stunt car driver.
Oh, okay.
He drives Raptor. I was going to say if you didn't know who he was, but he's a character. I love that guy. He was on this podcast.
I think that's all drone, honestly, but maybe they did it. It took an arm car out. But then I shot all this stuff.
Cool.
This is at the McCune Mansion in Salt Lake. Really fun location. Shot this on Alexa Mini LF. Jared Janes gaffed it. Jared's a super good friend of mine, a super good gaffer.
Cool.
And then Al Stoddard was our key grip. And he has this little jib arm that we put on a dolly. So almost all of this is on a jib arm and a dolly.
The jibs are the best when you can get them working.
So nice. Yeah.
It's getting the balance and everything figured out. You have to have a guy that really understands it.
Al is amazing, and they did a really good job with it and gave us a lot of cool shots that would have been hard otherwise. It's
kind of like a poor man's robot arm.
Yeah.
Because you
put on some dolly track, and if you're good at it. And so
talk to me just about, obviously you shot this on the Alexa. Like, I'd love to kind of tech a little bit. Tech, like, what's your camera of choice? Like, why do you, maybe you didn't choose the RA, maybe that was just part of the shoot. Like, what do you want to shoot on? And like, do you have like a favorite camera or lenses?
I own an LF.
Okay.
So I own an Alexa LF Mini. I think because of my 5-day Mark II days, I'm very stuck on full frame.
Yep.
All my lenses, when I guess a lens, like if I look at a shot and I'm like, that's this lens, they're all set to like full frame.
Cool.
Basically most of my career I've shot full frame, I think.
Yeah.
I definitely shot on like Red Epics for a while and did Super 35, but like I've really, really ended up in full frame and do a lot of that. I owned Sigma Cine Primes for a little while. I sold those and bored with those. And these days I try and find different lenses for almost everything I do. Cool. Moonrock's really rad. They'll like help me out if I'm doing a smaller project and stuff. They own a lot of cool glass and, but really, I'm not a techie. I'm just not that guy.
A lot of the things you're saying, I don't even know what to say. Because it's like, it's a good lens. It's sharp. But with, what would you kind of like to speak to your style? And this is probably the most recent film that we can watch that like, do you find that you have a style that you like to cater towards, whether that's lighting or the way you're shooting, lens choice, obviously full frame lends itself to be wider, but
I do like wider lenses. I do play, when I shoot the stuff that I really love and want to shoot, I shoot wider. When I shoot like Hallmark movies don't call for that, right? So I shoot those on longer lenses usually, but I like the idea of movement and like the physicality of wide lenses. So like a 28 is on a full frame is like heaven to me. Honestly, 32 is pretty good, but and I like this kind of ratio.
So like, what is that shot on? Because it almost looks like a 28. There's a little not distortion, but you can feel like it's wide. But even though it's a medium,
that's
I
probably
think
a wider
traditionally
lens.
You're shooting that on like a 50.
No, it's probably 28 or 32 maybe.
Cool. That one.
See how the movement feels, right? That's like on a longer lens, you're further away, and like the movement just doesn't feel as much. So that's what I really like is
that's cool.
That kind of stuff, and you want that from your actors too to give you those. And Christian's awesome. Such a good. He's a character in everything he does.
He's so fun. He was on a lot of our shoots, and that was very similar to the way I was. I'll never forget the first time I learned about a full frame and I put a 16 on it and I was like, whoa, that's how Devin Superframe gets his shots. I ended up working for him, and that was like, we were shooting on the 11 to 24 and it didn't have distortion on full frame awesome. Red. Oh my gosh. The movement, obviously that was a huge part of his brand, but totally hear what you're saying, man. Like the full frame wide,
Yeah, that's a fun moment, like him coming into that frame.
Yes.
The rack and but that movement, if you're like longer lens, it just doesn't feel as cool
No.
in my mind.
Do you ever like? When would you use a long lens?
I think if I need to compress space and really like, there are definitely reasons to do that, to bring people closer. And in fact, this movie we just did, I shot a lot longer. Like we shot the 75 and 100 mil quite a bit, but it felt like it fit the genre just better than
a little more intimate,
wider. Yeah, and really kind of want to control the focus a little bit more. So I definitely will choose longer lenses if I'm trying to get something more out of focus. And
true.
but even this, you can see it's a little wider, like shoving in there, but it feels nice that you're just sensing every bit of movement. And Blue Fire came in on this and did the visual effects stuff.
Cool.
Those guys are really cool.
How is that working with, obviously that's not on set.
Yeah.
We're just imagining it.
Yeah, totally. The director, Cameron Sawyer, had a really good vision. They actually put, we made a wand with an LED on it that was kind of this blue color.
Nice to reflect.
So we actually,
cool.
if you, the dancing scene where she flies around behind the vase and stuff, we had a guy in a green screen suit.
Oh, cool.
Moving the light around so it could really interact with us.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like that stuff.
So that's cool. You like that.
So
that was
you can see the light reflecting in the wood and all that because we had a practical source. Yeah. In CG, that probably would have been much harder. Even like the edge light and the shadow on the. So that's all just like a tiny LED node.
Cool. That
Blue Fire built and brought out, and we had a guy dance around in a green screen suit, moving that around, and then we shot all that on a little stage. I think Cutthroat Stage in Salt Lake. We shot some green screen stuff with the fairy, put her in like a little harness, and she could do flips. And she's a gymnast, I think. So,
I mean, it's beautiful. It really the colors, like the light blue. You got the skin tones. I mean, it's very cinematic.
Yeah,
it's probably fun to play with.
It was so fun. And then this is a puppet. They brought a puppeteer in to do this part.
And is this on the doll or the arm, the jib?
Yeah, cool. I think we never pulled the camera off that thing.
That's so nice.
I've gotten really good at wheels, so I shoot on wheels a lot.
That's fun.
Yeah. In fact, most of my Hallmark movies now I shoot entirely on wheels. So I'll be the B camera operator. I usually hire an A camera, but my camera will just I'm never touching it. It's just on a Ronin and off doing its thing. It's kind of crazy.
Cool. So that's what I wanted to get to next is this Hallmark life. Sounds like that's what you do more than anything else right now.
Yeah.
Like everyone kind of, when they hear a Hallmark movie, right, there's a stereotype, more with the vibe and the acting. How does that lend itself to your style, or are you kind of being told to like do something that maybe you wouldn't naturally do? It sounds like. Is that okay? Like you're cool with that? Obviously.
Yeah, it's a good question actually. I call it sharpening my tool, like sharpening my knife, because I feel like as a shooter, like I shoot a lot, right? We're shooting a ton of setups. You got to be fast. You got to be efficient. You got to plan ahead for lighting. And so for me, like the challenge of a Hallmark movie is kind of cool. Yeah. Like I dig it. I do shoot on longer lenses than I would normally. I really try to fit what Hallmark likes. Yeah. That is until I just did a Halloween movie with them that'll come out in a month or two, maybe less. Called Haul Out the Halloween. They did two movies called Haul Out the Hollies 1 and 2, I think, which are Christmas movies, and we did a Halloween one. And on that one, the director and I, which was McLean Nelson, we started really just kind of letting me do my style on it. Yeah, like cool. Really went to wider lenses and more blocking and more interesting stuff. We actually replicated a scene from The Wizard of Oz in it. Cool. We like, and I think, I don't want to say I'm done with Hallmark movies. Like if they'll hire me to do Hallmark movies, that's awesome. Yeah. But I'm going to start doing them the way I want to do them. Cool. And I think Hallmark's ready for that too. Yeah. I think for a long time, Hallmark has been like, no, they look like this. They always look like this. They have to look like this. And I think they're ready. Yeah. And they're kind of giving the filmmakers a bit more freedom to make cooler, better stuff. And
that's fun. And then so you've shot it kind of more the Halloween one, and that'll come out. And I have to imagine people will see it and be like, oh, that's cool.
I think it's going to feel very different than a lot of their stuff. A little more dramatic lighting. I mean, it's a Halloween movie, so I felt like I had some liberty to make it a little more contrasty, which is not something we normally do on a Hallmark movie. I don't know how much number one, like the main actor in the movie, will enjoy that, like a little more shadow on her face. But to me, it's like, I don't know. It's just more interesting and more fun. And I think it's going to be more interesting for people to watch too.
That just sparked a question of like, the relationship you have with actors that want to look a certain way. How do you go about that? Like, I want this to look this way, and they're like obviously if they're more of a name or famous, like they have more say, you probably have to do it the way they want, right?
Yeah, I definitely have given up some lighting choices for actors.
Interesting.
Even camera positions. I had an actor, a lead female actor, that wanted the camera never below her eyes, which to me is like,
that's
dreadful.
Yeah,
like
you want that.
Terrifying. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like a wide lens deep in the room, like up high, it's all floor, and it's like
interesting.
So that was a battle that, and I think that I think we found a happy medium where I was like, let me show you the frame and see if it's okay if we're lower. But definitely, and she was a producer on the project too, so she had a lot of sway. So, which is tricky, but for the most part, I feel like most actors just want it to be cool and look good, and I think they're on board with you doing that, and they understand that sometimes their lighting might suffer to make the project cooler. I think, and
I have to imagine too, like the majority of actors don't know what the heck you're doing.
Yeah,
they just
super
trust
true.
You. Yeah, that's interesting. That's why I've never considered it to have someone that's an actor have a say in things like that.
There definitely are people who do. And those people know usually what they like. So
they've seen enough. That's cool.
Which is helpful. If someone can tell me like, hey, I really want it to look like this, I can do that. Usually. So, but for the most part, those Hallmark actors are doing so much acting that they're really amazing, and they'll know 10 pages of dialogue every single day on those movies. It's insane to me what they can do, and they'll hit marks, and they'll be directed to change a line that they've spent the night memorizing, and then they'll change it. And so they're really cool, good. I mean, they're just amazing actors, I think.
That's so crazy, because I work with people that are not actors, and teleprompter this, and talking head, and it's incredible how hard and bad people are. I myself, I'll get on camera, I can barely remember a sentence. Because of the camera pressure.
Totally.
But that's fascinating. Do you have a Hallmark movie that we can show that maybe is one that you're most proud of? Or
let's see. I gave you a few. What am I the most proud of?
Or just one that you
I did a couple really fun projects that were almost entirely black cast for the mahogany. I think, did I send you one called Holiday Stocking, maybe? I don't know. I didn't put names on those. I should have. So I did a few. I shot a movie here. I think that was the Holiday Stocking, with a. So they were entirely black cast, which was kind of fun. And then this guy right here, that's Michael T. Williamson. He was Bubba in Forrest Gump.
No way.
And he came in and was the angel in this movie, and then he directed a Hallmark movie that I got to shoot out in Alabama. And he's so cool. So this stuff, you can see it's like over color corrected. It's
a Hallmark movie. So I remember in my cinematography class with Bob Trim, we actually talked about skin tones and different shades of skin and lighting. So when you say this was fun, like, I have to imagine that just kind of shifted your style, or not style, but like, the way you had to light their skin a little differently, to have it have more character and show. It's
definitely different. I use a polarizer a lot. Like,
really?
Black skin with a polarizer. Like, I would shoot almost the entire movie with a polarizer in my camera. Even like night interiors, you're giving up a stop of light, because you can really control like some of the way the highlights hit and spin off and stuff. And so that was different. And shooting the skin was really, it's fun. And I feel like black skin takes light super nice. Like, it's almost easier than like a pasty white person, that we get, that we end up with sometimes.
I get that. That's cool. And so, like, when you're shooting this, like, how much say do you have in this type of film? Are you just doing what they tell you, or? I know this is kind of the same question I've asked over and over. I'm just fascinated with each film and like just hearing your perspective on it.
I think I was saying, but like, these films have a look that I felt for a long time like I needed to replicate. And I think I'm just moving away from that in my last couple.
They're starting to trust you with your opinion.
I have two that come out this fall. So I have a football one called Home Turf, and then I have the Haul Out the Halloween. And I feel like those both are going to look a little bit more cinematic than like most of my most of my stuff did. A little wider lenses, a little more dramatic lighting. But also those are very fast movies. So like big casts and very fast is hard to do. It's really hard to make it look nice. Yeah. And that's a battle that, you know, good gaffers and good electric department and can help you, but it's like still
they're cruising.
It's hard. Yeah. It's just hard.
That's cool. I actually would be I'm curious to watch the Benson Boone video, knowing all this, because I hadn't considered that, obviously knowing your style now. That's one of the more recent things I've seen that you've done. I'd love to hear you kind of talk about it and just working with Benson and also the director. What was his name again? Matt
Easton, sorry.
Matt Easton, no, I followed him.
Matt is a rad director. I've worked with him one other time, like 4 or 5 years ago. I did a Lagoon spot with him, and I loved it. He has such good vision. Yeah. He does a lot of the Lagoon commercials that you see. Okay. He's very trusting, and he's like just such a creator. He's just into the art. Like he's just an art guy.
Because he does, like he did or still does the Imagine Dragons too.
Yeah.
So is he kind of niched in that?
He does a lot of music video stuff, but he also is a really smart commercial director. Cool. Like he can, I think he came up doing music stuff because he started with a thing called Occidental Saloon. It was a Provo thing, probably about that same time, 2010 maybe, that they started doing. It's actually, I think, how Imagine Dragons kind of got that first video to blow up. But Occidental Saloon did some really cool video that like inspired us big time. Like I was super into their stuff and tried to replicate that for a while on my 5D back in the day.
So were you cam mopping on this as
well? I think, this is all me on the handheld stuff. Cool. This is a cool mount that we did on the lawnmower, and then the grass was super bouncy, so we actually shot that on cement. We faked it on grass. Part of it, because
his skin tones were probably super green.
Yeah. And then Matt had this fun idea to do the lock off, and this commercial was really fun. This is like I'm getting sprayed by the hose, camera in a bag, and I felt like he and I just danced the whole day. Actually, it felt like we were dancing, like, and it's cool to be that much a part of what's happening. Like, I don't know, it was really fun for me.
It's such a really cool music video. I watched it a ton, even before I knew who shot it and produced it. But and sounds like it was 2 days.
Yeah,
right? And that was the last day.
Yeah, all the exterior stuff was 1 day.
Okay.
So it was fast as well, and we had to push things through. There's Luke's daughter.
Yeah. So
fun. But Skylar Sorensen gaffed it for me again. He came out and flew FPV too, the one that we went through between his legs with that. This is Cody Peterson was my BOP. So he was in the car there, and then I had a car mount on the front with the Ronin.
Oh, nice.
That I was operating that shot there. And I'm sitting in the back with my wheels, and Benson's driving and like hanging out of the car. No one's driving for a bit of it. I mean, we were on a process trailer.
Exactly. We don't.
And actually, that was my dog, my wife's dog.
Oh, cool.
Was the Saint Bernard.
So you guys
so literally I mean, you know, we're on a process trailer, but
of course.
But we're in the back just like watching him, like, oh, what if he falls out or something?
It's so funny. What was it like working with Benson? Was he one of the actors that basically had a say in what you were shooting, or was he super collaborative?
He is super smart and super savvy, and also the guy has more charisma than anyone I've ever seen on camera.
Cool. That wasn't coached.
No, the guy just has it, like literally just has it. And like, I think it's why he's huge. Yeah. Is because he understands like comedic timing perfectly. He's just super smart. And like that first night we shot, we set up for a long time, got ready. He was like flying in from somewhere, Amsterdam or something. Basically the end of the night we call wrap, and he's like carrying C-stands out, carrying sandbags out. He was there like almost until the last people were done working.
Wow.
Like he was that kind of dude. He just was so fun and so rad.
Super cool.
I've got to do a few other projects with him since this, and he's still the same. He's just rad and he's excited. He wants to be there, and he makes it really fun for everybody.
Well, he's seen what you guys are producing now. He's probably just like, this is going to be sick.
Yeah. We got to shoot all the stuff for his He's on tour, and the stuff plays on the Jumbotron.
Oh,
we got to
way
shoot a
cool.
bunch of that stuff for it. It was
Awesome.
really cool. You have to go to the show to see it, I guess. But
Yeah, I actually am.
are you?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Could you
good.
believe it? So
That's awesome.
My wife's a huge fan, and then my 2 boys love his music as well.
Oh, rad.
So we're gonna take them.
Yeah, that's cool.
So.
Even when we were shooting this, when we did the car stuff outside, like if we stopped and we're doing something with camera, he would get out and talk to fans.
Way cool.
He was super nice. There were fans like lining up on the park, and he would just stop and wave to them. He was just, I don't know, he's just genuine and cool. And
Speaking of comedic timing,
yeah,
this moment,
yeah,
I was laughing. It was
dude,
so
yeah,
funny.
he's so
like,
good.
Or maybe it was the beginning too. Can you sing? He's like, no.
Yeah, no, exactly. No,
But-
he's really good. I've told him already. I'm like, you need to act, because he could totally act.
Yeah.
He could totally pull it off.
I'm sure he will.
He probably doesn't need to. He's probably making so much.
He's
You
fine.
know what I mean? He's doing so well. But
No, he's massive. That's cool. You're still doing stuff with him.
yeah, I hope to be at those shows too. We'll
Yeah.
see. I don't
To
have
actually be
tickets,
shooting?
but I might. I'm hoping. Yeah,
Very cool.
crossing my fingers. But
Well, I'll be one of the older dudes with all the little girls. Jeremy.
yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of want to get to the end of this, which is at this point in your career, you've done a lot. You're an OG. You're experienced. Obviously, you're still challenging yourself. Where do you see, or would you want to see your career going in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I think storytelling is becoming much more important to me than even camera work right now. Like I really want to tell good stories, and I want to be in control of the stories I tell. So really, like this World War II feature that Jake and I just did, we're also both producing on it, and it's our own content. We own it, and that's my goal, is to make stuff that I own and stuff that I have control over, what story's being told and why and how. And I love shooting movies. I'll shoot anyone's movie. If you call me and you have a cool movie, I'll come shoot it.
Cool.
But also I want to start being in control of what I make. I think a little bit like what T.C. Christensen does. I mean, they're different movies. I'm not going to make the same movies he makes, but making movies that are my own and that are cool, and I feel like the stories are important. That's where I'm headed. That's where I
Do you
want
see
to
yourself
go.
directing those?
I sometimes think I want to direct, and then I watch how hard a director works, and it's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there might be like a smaller film that I could do, that I could direct, and I have some ideas for some pretty small movies that that might want to do, and but directing like a big, like real project would terrify me.
Yeah.
So
I believe it. You have to like constantly be thinking about it. You never stop.
yeah, and even choices about makeup or
Yeah. Just
even
things that you
wardrobe
don't
stuff.
quite
I'm
care
like,
about.
I don't know. I don't know that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I've directed and just commercials and stuff like that, and that's like the funniest question I get. What should I wear?
Yeah.
Even if there's not a makeup artist or wardrobe, and the talent asks me that, and I'm like, white.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe something a little light.
Yeah, it's terrifying to me to think like I'm making those choices for people, and I mean that is why directors put good people around them, I think. But
for sure.
But still, you have to have an opinion,
Yes.
and I think even having an opinion to me scares me on a lot of those
You
fronts.
fake so much of it too. I feel like at least I do, and you're just like, do this, and then it looks great.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
luckily.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you? So when you, how do you get to that point? Like,
Yeah,
what you're
well,
talking about. What do you need?
That's what this World War II feature and our Aliens Abducted My Parents feature that we did that was in Sundance. That was our project.
Cool.
And that one hasn't made us money yet, but it will, I think. And so really that's the goal, is like making projects that make us money so that we can turn right back around and put them in cool projects. And so hopefully this World War II thing does that for us.
Because essentially you make a film, you're going to put it in Sundance, hopefully get the right person to want to invest in it, and then you make the feature.
No.
Or it's done.
These are entire features.
So it's not like the Napoleon Dynamite where it was just a short part.
No. Yeah,
Okay.
these are entire features that, if we get into Sundance, we'll help them sell. But either way, we need to sell this World War II movie when it comes out.
So you'll sell it to a Netflix or someone that
exactly any distributor that will hopefully yeah. And I think Angel Studios is filling that void in Utah for a lot of people. I don't know
they're
if
doing great.
Yeah, they're doing cool stuff, and like that Fable Haven thing was for them.
Gotcha.
Like that, I think. I don't know if they funded it necessarily, but it was for them.
Nice.
And then but that kind of format of like a filmmaker making his own movie, independent, and trying to make money on it. That's kind of the goal.
Cool
for me.
And so you're heading in that direction. That was the question, is like, what do you need? Which is essentially you need money.
Yeah.
To be able to do it. Otherwise,
yeah. And we have raised some money. That's how we did these few projects. It's just like getting that money to come back so we can keep going on making more projects.
Do you have like a team that you use to do those? Like
that's just Jake Van Wagner and I.
Cool.
And then we're the producers on it,
Gotcha.
and then we bring in other people that can help us.
And you shoot. And your goal is to shoot these videos too.
Well, for now I think when there's no budget, I'll shoot them. But if we get to a place where I don't have to shoot all of them, that'd be great too. Yeah. I mean, I think there might be projects that come in that like I'm not the right guy for, and so we would hire, we would pick a shooter that can do that. And
so that's my dream, is to essentially, I've never heard of this career or this title, which is what Luke says, creative executive producer. I'm like, dude, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I just want to I want to have the money to bring in the right people to support the people that love to do what they do, but then sit back and give my creative direction wherever I need to, but not feel the pressure of like being the guy.
Yeah, no, totally. Like being the DP on set is hard and stressful.
Lots of pressure.
Yeah, it would be cool if you're more worried about the story and more worried about like helping the director get what he needs to make good choices or she needs or whatever.
And supporting your friends, and people that you have to work with is like so ideal. So
it's fun. And Luke, I mean, I hope to do more projects with Luke too. Like, and he and I have talked a lot about that. He has his feature he might do in the future, and that kind of stuff. That I think we're creating those as our own. We're producing those and finding the money, and so I think Luke is a big part of that in my
super cool
in my future. I hope.
I love that. Well, he's heard it here, so I'm sure he's listening.
He knows, I think.
So, two more things. You've got a lot of experience. The advice portion of the show, which is this one's probably not that it's going to be this elaborate advice, but I'm excited about your advice because you've been through, you're battle tested, man. You've had more experience than most people I've had on this podcast, especially in the cinematography world, and the majority of the people I have on here are cinematographers. What kind of advice would you give to not even someone just starting, but someone that's pretty, maybe 5-10 years into their career as a cinematographer? Like, how do they get to this point where you're shooting movies full time? You've got a great network of people that are calling you constantly. Your 5 to 10 years looks a lot different than a lot of other people, right? So, what kind of advice would you give to that person?
Oh man, it's such a good question. I think the things that I regret in my career, which is probably what advice should be, is like the times when I haven't been as prepared as I should have been. And then I think those relationships, like those busted relationships that we talked about. And I think being genuine, being honest, and like saying to people, hey, I don't know how to do this. Like, I don't know what to do here. How can we do this? And then being a team player in those circumstances, I think that's super, super important. And then as a cinematographer, finding your voice. Like, I still feel like I'm finding my voice, but finding your voice so that your stuff looks like your stuff. And maybe you have the ability to make it look like someone else's stuff because that's a skill that you need. But also when you can shoot your stuff, it looks like your stuff. And people are like, that's what I want this to look like. And they're going to call you because that they know you can do that and that you'll make it look like that. Cool. I think that's probably what I would.
I love the advice of being willing to tell people that you don't know how to do that. That's hard.
Yeah.
And that's really good advice though, because the truth is most people can't admit that they don't know something, and there's no better way to learn and to grow. Obviously, you got to fake it at times.
Well, and I have, and I think for a long time I was too afraid to be like, ooh, I don't know.
So many people are willing to help.
Yeah,
everybody. They're jerks.
And you're surrounded by good people, and someone will say like, oh, we did this on this movie, or we did this, and then you're like, okay, now let's try that. And there's always a solution, and the team can solve it. And I think, being a leader, but also being willing to like listen, I think is cool and important.
So cool. I love that. The last thing is, and we actually just started doing this, which is, I don't know if we told you, but it's a little bit putting you on the spot. I'm going to give you the question, the what we're doing. And then the question is, so at the end of the podcast, I got this from another podcast. You're going to ask a question to the next guest that you don't know who it is. But it's just a question that can be about life. It can be about something you've been thinking about, something that it could be about anything really. But the last guest asked you a question, and they didn't know who it was. Do you have that ready? Okay, we're gonna start actually playing it for you.
Oh, cool, fun.
But Yeah. So I'm going to ask that question
Yeah.
so that we can hear it.
No problem.
But was there a point in your make sure I get this right? Was there a point in your career where you could have decided to go one direction, but you decided to go the other? Was that it?
Yeah. You wish you would have taken the other way.
Yeah. Do you wish you would have gone the other direction? Because I have that in my. I had a point, and I already spoke about it, which was on Cokeville. I had the choice to go down the DP route, and I probably would have thrived, but changed would have been this whole different life. And I went down the social media shorter form route. I don't regret it because I love where I've ended up. Kind of the unanswered prayers things, right? You just don't know. But is there a point in your life that you've had that moment, and do you regret it or are you glad?
I mean, I think honestly, the biggest moment for me when I was 32 and I quit being a carpenter and became a filmmaker was, and I've no regret. You know what I mean? I do not regret that at all. Of course.
That's a hard decision.
I think it was a huge decision at the time. It was overwhelming. It was daunting. It was terrifying, and we didn't even know if the career would work. And so I think for me, I feel like I chose the right thing.
Yeah.
I think if you wanted the other way, when I chose to go corporate for a little while, that was a mistake. I think, I mean, I still had rad times and I got better as a filmmaker, but probably if I'd spent those couple years doing more narrative stuff, I'd be even, be further along.
Yeah.
So I think I probably do regret making that choice, but at the time it didn't even feel like a choice. It was like, hey, do you want to fly to France? And you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to say no. Yeah.
Health insurance.
Exactly. So I think, but I do think putting yourself in a situation where you're in control of what work you do is really cool. And I think that's something I still struggle with, where I'm like, I got to go do this movie because they're going to pay me and they're going to pay for my camera and put bread on the table. And, if you're young enough and you're coming up and like the choice is money or like a rad project, do the rad project. Yeah. Money goes away no matter what.
Yeah.
You're still not going to have it later. Yeah. So I think maybe that's not quite the answer to that question, but I think
no, you answered it 2 times and I love it because one where it went, you did make the decision to go the wrong way, and the other one you made the decision to go the right way.
Yeah. So I think, long career, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So I know I haven't given you a lot of time to think about it, but hopefully there's something that kind of comes to you. But what question would you ask the next guest, not knowing who they are?
Oh, that's interesting.
Putting you on the spot. Take as long as you need.
Okay, how about this? If you could go back and correct one thing you did in your career, what would it be?
Cool. Let's end it right there then. Thanks for coming on the podcast,
Dude,
Jeremy.
My pleasure.
It's been so fun.
It's fun to see you.
Your knowledge is amazing. Your experience is unmatched at this point.
I'm humbled and honored to be here, honestly.
One of my favorites.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on.
Thanks so much, dude.
Cool.
Terrifying.